Hi and welcome to ABC's Films. I'm Alex, that's Barry over there. Today we're watching the Best Picture winner from 1962. It's Lawrence of Arabia, directed by David Lean, starring Peter O'Toole, Omar Sharif, Anthony Quayle, Alec Guinness. This is the longest film to ever won Best Picture. It's 227 minutes, 222 minutes, something like that. It's a minute longer than Gone with the Wind.
It's 3 hours and 40. Is it really a minute longer?
Just a minute longer.
Right. Yeah,
Like
3 hours and 47 minutes.
It's like 19,000 foot of film or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, 19,900 or something. Anyway, it's massive. It's really famous for being incredibly epic. Same director as Bridge over the River Kwai, so that's a pretty good one. So hopefully this is going to be a pretty good one as well. So we're going to watch it and then see you after the jump.
Lawrence of Arabia is about a man called T.E. Lawrence. He's a lieutenant in the British Army and he's stationed in Cairo.
Cairo, yeah.
And he is subordinate.
We should say it's World War One, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
World War
set
One.
during 1917 and 1918.
Yeah. And he's a subordinate and he is sent to Arabia to help the Arabs fight the Turks. That's it. 4 hours.
I mean, obviously, like lots of stuff goes on.
However, it really holds your interest.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to watch, isn't it? Like we're saying. I mean, obviously, like sometimes our channel can just be like we're complaining about the length of films, and that's usually because the films aren't very good. Like Ben-Hur is long and also not particularly good.
But
This one I followed the plot all the way through, and also the plot isn't particularly complicated.
no, not at all.
Obviously, if you read into everything that was happening around it in real life, it's pretty, complex. But this is just like lots and lots of shots of deserts and people going across deserts.
The first 2/3,
Hmm.
it's a lot of wide shot of a couple of camels walking along, then like a close of somebody with like sand blown on their face, then a wide shot again. But it's just directed so well.
The cinematography is really impressive. This is like one of the first films like that has a really, really wide scope and uses it quite well. It's like it knows how they know how to shoot the desert and make it seem epic and vast with like the small figures going across it.
Yeah, it's weird because I read when they were making Ben-Hur, the cinematographer hated.
Yeah.
Is it Panavision or CinemaScope or whatever it was?
CinemaScope. This film was a 7mm film as well.
But he said that he hated that, so he tried to put loads of stuff in the frame, in the foreground, in the background, so that you don't lose interest. Whereas this has very little, and it holds your interest a lot more.
Yeah,
because you kind of just like
that was
things.
kind of the immediate comparison I made as well, because Ben-Hur is really epic in scope, but it also seems quite small because it's set in like these really kind of restrictive and artificial Hollywood sets.
Yeah.
Like Rome sets and Judea sets and everything, which looks really old Hollywood epic kind of stuff. This is mostly just set in the desert in Jordan and places around Egypt and stuff like that. So
see, us talking about it now is making me think of that George Lucas. No, it's not George Lucas. Rick, the producer of The Phantom Menace. Where he's like, there's so much going on in the frame.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what Ben-Hur is like. But this is there's so little going on that you find yourself looking for stuff.
It's so dense. Every single image has so many things going on.
But it's really done quite well. Like with the very famous scene where Sharif Ali's introduced, which is Omar Sharif's character, where it's T. Lawrence and his guide are at a well, aren't they? And then like in the distance, like you can barely even tell where the sky and the sand are.
Yeah,
it's
got that. They don't call it mirage.
It's almost like water, isn't it? It makes it look like water.
That sort of mirage where you have at the edge of a horizon where there's like a gap
yeah.
between the ground and the image that you're seeing. So you just see like a head sort of poke out of nowhere, and it just gets bigger and closer and shimmery and.
But
Yeah, so he's riding towards them, and like it starts off as just a dot, and this scene is like 3 or 4 minutes long. I mean, it's not like just a static we're looking at it. Shot,
Yeah,
but
it,
is,
it
like,
cuts
cut
to the
around.
characters. And that.
But it's done really well, and you're like, what is that? And then you can see it's like a rider on a camel or a horse or whatever
Yeah.
it was. And
Yeah, because you wonder, was that specific horizon? Like,
yeah.
how long do optical illusions like that last on the horizon?
Yeah.
You know, were they just there and they spotted it and they were like, do you know what would be cool?
Yeah.
Or did they plan for that and have to
apparently
wait for it to happen? Or
This is something I read in the Roger Ebert review, that like this is one of the images that David Lean had in his head before he shot it. That was something
right,
he
so
wanted
that's-
to do and
yeah.
understand. That's what kind of thing you could get in the desert, was like the way that people appear on the horizon.
Yeah.
Which obviously, because you can see for miles and miles in any distance, and that's kind of like the way that he wanted to communicate the vastness of the communicate the vastness of the
it's
environment.
like the one time I don't read the Roger Ebert review.
I think we should always read the Roger Ebert
Yeah,
review. Just,
I want to get it on a t-shirt. Like, Roger Ebert says.
Yeah.
Dot, dot, dot. What do you think of Peter O'Toole?
He's really good in this.
Yeah. He was like, he's all right, like to begin with. I don't want to say he's nothing special, but there's nothing really stand out apart from
I
like
think-
he's very effeminate.
Even in like the early scenes, the way he kind of plays like his kind of quirky. He's an army officer. He's a lieutenant, but he's like a really quirky character. Like he doesn't like salute quite right, and he says when he's speaking to the general at the start that it's just his manner.
Yeah.
He's not being insubordinate, but
That's just how he is.
He
Yeah.
just looks like he's being insubordinate. And there's a scene at the very start where he's at the pool table and
It's
he knocks
snooker table. He's just
snooker
talking to
table.
somebody, and somebody's setting up this snooker table,
Yeah.
and then like for no reason he just grabs a ball and goes, "Pwah," and,
Yeah.
like smashes. Well, not smashes, but you know,
Yeah.
breaks up all of the triangle that this guy set up for like no reason.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Well, sorry, mate. Oh, fuck's
Yeah.
up."
I'm not asking as your superior, Lawrence. I'm asking as the secretary of this mess. We don't want chaps in here who should be on duty. Where are you going, please?
I must say, Lawrence. Sorry.
You're a clown, Lawrence.
Ah, well, we can't all rely on Tony. Sorry.
There's a really good introduction to the character
Yeah.
to show like he's kind of like a bit. He doesn't play by the rules, you know. He's you know.
Yeah, but he's not
got
a
turns
dick.
back in his guard,
Although
yeah.
that is dickish with the snooker thing. It was just like a lapse of reason.
Yeah.
But when he started to stand out for me was the first time I think he goes back to Cairo,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you start to really see that everything he's done
yeah.
is wearing on him.
That
And
was
he's,
a-
like shaking. And,
Yeah, I mean, like the first like hour and a half of the film, it's he goes to see Prince Faisal, and then it's him like, oh, we have to go and attack Aqaba across the Sun's Anvil, which is like the long desert they have to ford to go and attack this outpost. And it's kind of the way that he settles into, you know, Arab life and being
Yeah.
the commander of the Arabs, and like the way he kind of stands out, and then like they accept him as their own, and then he gets his robes, the Sheikh's robes, or
Yeah.
whatever, and he gets really excited about it, and that's all done really well.
yeah.
But you're right. As soon as after the first battle scene, and after he
Yes,
he
once
witnesses
he's
two
back with the
people's
Brits.
death.
Yeah.
Let me see. I killed 2 people. I mean, 2 Arabs. One was a boy. That was yesterday. I led him into a quicksand. The other was a man. That was before Aqaba, anyway. I had to execute him with my pistol. There was something about it I didn't like. Well, naturally. No, something else.
I see. Well, that's all right. Let it be a warning.
No, something else.
What then?
I enjoyed it.
How do you feel about the blackface in this film, Barry? I suppose you could more call it Arab face, couldn't you? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not straight up like
But, like-
Birth of a Nation stuff.
Those of you that have watched our past videos know that we're kind of on the lookout on these Best Picture ones for
Racism.
yeah,
Overt
for like old
racism.
school racism, and also we've mentioned a couple of videos ago that we're kind of starting to look for black characters because the civil rights movement's on its way in the timeline.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like there was nothing overtly racist really in the earlier Best Picture winners. There were black characters. There were all like maids or something like that, but there wasn't any blackface.
We should say what we're talking about is the character of Prince Faisal is played
Yeah,
by Alec
sorry.
Guinness. Alec Guinness, who is like quite clearly, well, I think quite clearly, obviously been blacked up to play the part.
Yeah.
I mean, he does play the part quite well. That's not something I can necessarily criticise. Like, he's
He's
fine
good.
in the role.
Yeah.
He actually looks strikingly similar to the real Prince Faisal, as far as I could tell
Does
from
he?
my Wikipedia research. But also, Anthony Quinn's in it. He has quite clearly been darkened. I'm pretty sure that Omar Sharif has been darkened as well.
Yeah.
Omar Sharif is an Egyptian actor, but I'm certain that he's had some kind of touching up done.
I don't really know Anthony Quinn or Omar Sharif beforehand, but obviously
You've seen
Alec Guinness spent like what,
Lestrada.
30 years
You've
in
seen
the desert?
Lestrada, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's black and white though, so I guess it doesn't really help.
Is Anthony Quinn in that?
Yeah, he plays the strongman, Zampano.
I don't remember. I remember the Fall and I remember the two main characters.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, he's in that anyway. But yeah, I just think it's kind of remarkable. I mean, there are Middle Eastern actors in this. There are a lot of but they're mostly extras, like Turkish soldiers. And
Yeah, I
things
guess they
like
wouldn't
that.
have wanted an Arab playing a role as large as the one that Alec
there's
Guinness
no
played.
there's no Arabic main actors in this as far. Omar Sharif, obviously, that's complete made up. But like, apart from him, there's no really like main kind of roles for Arabic actors. I think even T. Lawrence's two servants are played by white kids in blackface.
They looked
I'm
like
pretty
it, but I
sure.
couldn't say for sure.
No, I'd have to look it up, but I
Yeah.
imagine it probably was. Also, kind of on the same subject, interesting of note, this is one of the very, very few films ever made, in fact, that have no female speaking roles. Did you notice that when watching it?
No.
I didn't notice it until I
No.
read the Wikipedia article afterward, but there are no credited female roles. There are no
What's
female
that thing
speaking roles.
with women in films?
Bechdel test.
Yeah,
pretty much.
it would have failed that.
Absolutely.
That's there's this test which is there two female characters in the movie and do they talk to each other about something
It's
other
not a
than
man. For
a
like
man?
for more than like it's like 10 seconds or
Yeah.
something like that, and the vast majority of films made in Hollywood actually failed the test. There was a film released in 2015 which I didn't know about called Queen of the Desert or something. It is Queen of the Desert, starring Robert Pattinson as T. Lawrence, but it's about I think it's a female British intelligence officer who worked in Cairo at the same time and apparently worked quite closely with T. Lawrence and was kind of his like cultural advisor. So she would advise Lawrence about the tribes in the area and like kind of the internal politics when he was trying to lead them.
It's a love story.
I don't know. I haven't seen the film, but like in my research, but apparently she was really. I can't remember the name of the actual real life character.
I suppose this one could have been called Queen of the Desert, couldn't it?
You could, yeah.
Because he is he's definitely played as gay.
He's played as effeminate at the very least. That's
Yeah.
the most you can kind of glean from it. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I mean
hard to
there
say.
isn't anything to specifically say that he is
was-
gay, but reading afterwards, it has been documented and
Well, there's from what I was reading, he may have been asexual as well. There's no documented like of him having relationships with anyone whatsoever.
right, but there are scholars that think he was gay, so for them to make the decision
Yeah.
to portray him that way is kind of
Yeah. Which is
suggests that they were doing it.
really strange because back in the day you don't hear about many gays in films, do you? It's like they've all suddenly come out after like the 1970s,
Yeah.
or they weren't portrayed because it was offensive. Either way.
But there were definitely gay characters. There's a lot of in the early films. There's a lot of like theatre men
Yeah.
who are definitely.
But
come
they're
across-
almost like they're playing a character, you know, like
Yeah.
the old theatre queen, as opposed to
yeah,
someone
like the
who's
old
just
stand-up stuff. It's all quite
homosexual.
effeminate.
Yeah. But no, definitely there's certainly like kind of his mannerisms as well. He was kind of
I love the way he rides a camel. You know, he's
Yeah.
like.
yeah, absolutely. In Roger Ebert's review, he says it's not really something you follow for the story. It's like an experience. You kind
Yeah,
of just have to
yeah.
take it
That's
in.
what I feel like.
Yeah.
I was just sort of.
There's nothing.
watching it.
There's nothing else quite like it. Is
No.
there that I've ever actually seen beforehand.
There's certainly not a 4-hour movie that didn't bug me.
Yeah.
You know, that it was 4 hours. I mean, we were sort of counting down the minutes. We
Yeah.
were like, oh, there's 2 hours left. But
Yeah.
that was kind of joking.
It's the very definition of epic.
Yeah.
It's really just kind of massive in scope and massive in scale, and also kind of
God, the amount of extras in some of the scenes when
Yeah.
they're sieging some towns and
Yeah.
you just see like hundreds of horses flying.
yeah, Aqaba,
Flying.
the city of Aqaba, when they attack it at the end of the first half, that was we
Yeah.
were talking about when watching it. That was completely constructed.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was completely.
Yeah, because I wasn't
Put
sure.
together.
There was some bits that looked obviously constructed,
Yeah.
but other bits not so much.
Plus,
Plus, massive set then. Alright, so that was our review of Lawrence of Arabia. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you in the next 2 weeks when I think it's the Halloween special. Is it the Halloween special?
It might be.
It might be. I'm lost in my timeline. I don't know what videos come
Oh
next.
shit, well, if it is, we can use like a preview.
Every night I bring her Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. Oh, my baby loves those Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. I try to win her with candy, ice cream and custard. But how she likes hot dogs with mustard.